Please, at least pay me for last month, Rosa's voice cracked, but the millionaire's reply was colder than stone. You think you deserve a dime after the mess you've made? Get out! He turned away, certain she'd leave in silence, humiliated and broke. But Rosa didn't move. Instead, she slowly unfolded a letter from her apron. His eyes narrowed the second he saw it, panic flickering where arrogance once stood. That letter held truths he never wanted exposed, the kind that could turn a powerful man into nothing. What was written inside, and why did he fear it so much? Rosa had never asked for much in life: a steady job, food on the table for her children, and the dignity of honest work. That was enough. For 5 years, she scrubbed the marble floors of Mr. Whitman's mansion until her knees ached, polished silver until her fingers cracked, and rose before dawn to prepare his home before he even stirred from bed. Neighbors in her small apartment building often whispered, "At least you're lucky to work for such a rich man." But Rosa knew the truth. Luck had nothing to do with it. Every paycheck went to rent, groceries, and school supplies. She survived, not thrived. Still, she held her head high. What stung most wasn't the hard work. It was the way she was treated. "Oh, don't touch the furniture with those rough hands," Mr. Whitman once sneered, waving her away like she was less than human. Other times, guests at his dinner parties would glance at her as if she were invisible, or worse, as if her presence tainted the air. Rosa never answered back. She swallowed the words, buried the humiliation, and kept going. Yet behind her quiet endurance, she noticed things. She saw letters left carelessly on his desk, overheard heated phone calls when he thought no one was listening, and read more in his nervous glances than he realized. Rosa had learned that silence could be powerful, and on the very day he decided to fire her without pay, it wasn't just her job at stake. Something far bigger was waiting to surface, something that would turn his wealth into a weapon against him. What Rosa carried in her pocket wasn't revenge. It was truth, and truth has a way of burning through lies. The day it all came crashing down started like any other. Rosa arrived early, her uniform freshly ironed, her mind already racing through the endless tasks waiting for her inside the mansion. But the moment she stepped through the door, she felt it, the tension. Mr. Whitman stood in the foyer, arms crossed, eyes cold. "You're late," he snapped, even though the clock read 6:58 a.m. Rosa lowered her gaze. I came as quickly as I could, sir." He leaned closer, his voice dripping with disdain. "Don't think I haven't noticed. You break glasses, you take too long cleaning, and frankly, Rosa, people like you should be grateful I even let you in this house." The words cut deeper than usual. "People like you." She bit her tongue until she tasted blood, swallowing her anger. She had 2 children depending on her. She couldn't afford to lose this job, but the insults only grew worse. That afternoon, while serving drinks to his wealthy guests, one of them laughed and said, "I don't know how you do it, Whitman. I could never have her in my home." The way his eyes lingered on her dark skin made Rosa's stomach twist. Mr. Whitman chuckled, replying loud enough for everyone to hear, "Trust me, it's charity work at this point." Laughter filled the room. Rosa kept her hands steady as she poured champagne, but her chest burned with shame. Every word was another weight pressing her down, yet none of them knew the truth she carried, folded neatly in her apron pocket. Later, after the guests left, Whitman's cruelty reached its peak. He tossed a stack of unpaid bills on the counter. "You think I don't know you've been behind on rent? You should be begging me for scraps, not complaining about wages. In fact," he leaned back, smirking, "you're fired, effective immediately. And don't bother asking for your last paycheck. You're not worth it." Rosa's heart sank. Fired, no pay. 5 years of loyalty, erased with one arrogant decree. She thought of her children. Would they have food this week? Would the landlord finally throw them out? Her hands trembled, but not from fear, from resolve. She looked him in the eye, her voice steady for the first time. "Sir, are you sure that's your final word?" He laughed. "What are you going to do, sue me? You can't even afford a lawyer." For a moment, the room went silent. Rosa's fingers brushed the edge of the letter in her pocket. A letter Whitman never imagined she'd see. A letter with his signature at the bottom and words that could unravel everything he'd built. She pulled it halfway out, just enough for him to recognize the seal. His smirk vanished, the color drained from his face. "Where did you get that?" His voice shook, barely a whisper. Rosa didn't answer. Not yet. She simply folded the letter back into her pocket, turned toward the door, and left him standing there, sweat gathering at his temples, his mind racing. Because he knew what that letter meant, and for the first time, the powerful millionaire wasn't in control. The next morning, Whitman summoned Rosa back to the mansion, his voice tense on the phone. "We need to talk, now." She arrived, to find him pacing, his usual arrogance cracked by something raw, fear. "Rosa, listen. Whatever you think you saw, whatever you think you have, it's meaningless. That letter doesn't prove anything." Rosa stood tall, no longer the timid maid who kept her head down. "Then why are you so afraid of it?" The silence was suffocating. He lunged forward, snatching at her pocket, but Rosa stepped back, clutching the letter tight, his face flushed red, his voice rising. "You think anyone will believe you? You're nothing but the help. A black maid against me? They'll laugh you out of court." His words dripped with the venom of centuries, the kind that told her she was invisible, disposable. For years she had swallowed that poison. Not today. She unfolded the letter slowly, her hands steady, her voice clear. "This is your signature. This is proof you've been hiding money from investors, funneling it through fake accounts, and I know exactly who to give this to." For the first time, Whitman stumbled back, his wealth, his power, his pride, all trembling before the truth in Rosa's hands. "Rosa, wait, please. We can work something out. I'll pay you double, triple, anything." Her eyes burned with a quiet fire. "No amount of money can buy back dignity." The room pulsed with tension, as if the walls themselves held their breath. Rosa didn't need to shout. Her calm was louder than any scream. Whitman collapsed into his chair, his empire teetering on the edge, and Rosa turned toward the door, letter in hand, carrying with her not just paper, but power. The question now was, would she use it to end him once and for all? Rosa didn't have to scream, threaten, or beg. The letter did the talking for her. Within weeks, whispers about Whitman's secret deals spread beyond the mansion walls. Investors pulled away, reporters circled, and the man who once laughed at her poverty now sat in courtrooms, his name dragged through headlines he couldn't control. For Rosa, it wasn't about revenge. It was about survival, about reclaiming dignity in a world that tried to deny her worth. With the settlement that followed, she finally paid off the debts that haunted her. Her children no longer went to bed hungry. For the first time, she could breathe. But the deeper wound wasn't money. It was the years of silence, the humiliation she endured because she knew speaking up could cost her everything. Rosa's story was just one story. One maid, one mansion, one letter. Yet it exposed something larger, that racism doesn't always come as shouts in the street. Sometimes it's hidden in smirks at dinner parties, in stolen wages, in the casual cruelty of those who believe their power makes them untouchable. And here's the truth. Rosa's fight shouldn't have depended on luck or on one letter that fell into her hands. Justice shouldn't be a gamble. So the question isn't just what happened to Rosa, it's what happens next. How many more? Lives are still being dismissed, disrespected, erased in silence. And how long will it take before the world stops excusing the Whitmans of our time? Because in the end, Rosa's letter didn't just ruin one man, it revealed a system built to protect him, And until that changes, her story will echo far beyond one mansion. So ask yourself, if you were Rosa, would you have stayed silent or spoken your truth? If Rosa's story hit you, don't scroll past. Like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Your voice matters, and together we can make sure these truths are never silenced.